The devil has unleashed a curse upon the world, plunging it into an eternal darkness. Only one wizard is strong enough to break this curse, so he sets out on an epic quest to do just that. And we're trying to kill him. Pumpkin Jack puts you in the shoes of the anti-hero Jack. Summoned by the devil, Jack's soul was placed inside a pumpkin and given a new body. Jack is promised freedom if he can stop the wizard from breaking the curse, and that's where you come in. While this sounds very much the opposite of what most games would have you do, story takes a backseat in this adventure. Given the basic plot, you'll embark across several stages to hunt the wizard down and stop him. While the story may not be typical, here you'll find a fairly typical 3D action platformer game, but in a lot of ways, that's actually a great thing. You'll spend your time between a mix of action-oriented combat, unique puzzle solving, platforming and traversal, mini-games, and some rather neat on-rail sections. Nothing here is groundbreaking and never been done before, but what is here is a lot of fun and for the most part works really well. The combat is simple. You've got an attack button which you can combo with your currently equipped weapon. You can dodge, as well you can perform a special attack after double jumping in the air. As for ranged attack, you can command a bird companion to fly beak first into enemies, causing damage from afar. Overall, the combat is enjoyable, and you'll get 6 different weapons to play around with along your journey. Each weapon has a different feel and different moves, so finding the one that you like the most gives a nice touch to the gameplay. All of the weapons seem to deal the same amount of damage, so picking your favorite is really just about personal preference. None of the fights or enemies are very difficult, and you can fairly easily button mash your way through most encounters with some light dodging. As you kill enemies or break objects in the world, you regain health, so you're never really running too low. Enemies tend to bunch up in front of you, meaning any weapon with a wide attack can damage or take out multiple enemies really fast and easily. Boss battles are a little different and generally require you to dodge various attacks until an opening presents itself or some interactive object that will let you damage them, like hitting bombs back into them. Of all my 50 or so deaths playing through the entire game, I never once died during combat. Instead, all those deaths came from what you'll be doing the most, and arguably what I found most enjoyable in the game, which is platforming and exploring. Each of the 6 stages of the game have 21 collectibles to find throughout. Often these will be hidden in plain sight, but you'll need to figure out how to reach them using some clever platforming. Jack is able to double jump, and this gives you a lot of control over where he goes. The levels themselves, while they are fairly linear, often have some good verticality to them, and the collectibles can be tucked in some really tricky places to get to. The platforming just feels good in this game. While the jumping did at sometimes feel a little floaty, like when trying to land on a very tiny ledge over water that would mean instant death, for the most part, controlling Jack just works well and is where Pumpkin Jack really shines. Besides combat and exploring, each stage has some really clever on-rails sections that have you speeding along great distances, like riding in minecarts or trying to race knights in little go-karts. These provide a great break in the action and really help keep the pacing going. Each level also has Jack take part in some minigame style activities where he removes his head and you run around as just a pumpkin with vine tentacles propelling you forward. These minigames are varied and provide a lot of fun. Again, something different that just keeps you interested in the game even more. One minigame has you matching names on tombstones like a twisted game of memory, another has you bouncing bombs at targets, and there's even a fun take on the memory game Simon. Pumpkin Jack has a great aesthetic. It's bright and colorful, and there's enough variety in the different stages to make each one feel unique. Playing on Xbox One, it ran really smoothly except for a couple times when there were quite a few enemies on screen and the frame rate dropped a little bit, but nothing enough to really detract from the gameplay itself. I also found the music really surprising. The tunes are all very well themed to the Halloween feel, and you'll find yourself humming along as you go. Overall, I had a lot of fun playing Pumpkin Jack. Each stage takes roughly 40 minutes to an hour to complete, so you'll be looking at about 6 to 8 hours total if you're really looking for all the collectibles in each stage. This definitely takes me back to 3D platformer games like Medieval and Jak and Daxter. And so if you're looking for some Halloween fun that's not heavy on scares, I think this would be a great game for you. I'd rate this title as a 7 out of 10. Pumpkin Jack is available on Xbox One, PS4, Switch, and Steam as of today, October 23rd, 2020. Thanks to the developers for providing me with an early key to review this game, and thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing as it really helps me out. And as always, happy gaming.